What if I told you your entire day is decided in the first hour? Most people wake up just in time to chase the clock. They rush through routines, burdened by stress, already behind before the day begins. But those who rise early, before the world makes its demands, they move with purpose. They walk in silence, yet accomplish more than others do in noise. They begin the day not as victims of circumstance, but as creators of opportunity. You see, the early morning is your private battlefield. It is where your character is forged, your intention is set, and your destiny begins to take shape. If you let the morning slip through your fingers, the rest of the day slips with it. But if you command those first moments, if you claim them as your own, then no obstacle can steal your momentum. Wake up early and you're no longer reacting to life. You're leading it. When you rise before the world, you're not just waking up, you're waking within. In those quiet, unclaimed hours, you're free from distraction, free from noise, free from the opinions of others. And in that stillness, something powerful happens. Your purpose begins to speak. It's not buried in the chaos of the day. It's waiting for you in the silence when your mind is clear and your heart is steady. The great achievers, Franklin, Aurelius, Lincoln, they'd all began their days asking the same question. What good shall I do today? That question is not trivial. It is the compass that aligns your soul with your actions. Most people drift through life never knowing what they're meant to do because they never stop long enough to listen. But when you rise early, you tune into that higher frequency. You hear your calling, not as a whisper, but as a command. Purpose is not found in the noise. It is found in the morning. Discipline is not something you're born with. It is something you build. And the early morning is your training ground. While the world sleeps, while comfort whispers for you to stay in bed, you rise. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. You see, greatness doesn't come from talent alone. It comes from repeated acts of self-control, from choosing growth over ease, from choosing discipline over delay. In those first moments of the day, when no one is watching, you are tested, not by the world, but by your will. Think of Catherine the Great or Alexander Hamilton. They didn't rise through privilege, they rose through practice. And that practice began before the sun. One decision at a time, one habit at a time. That's how discipline is forged. Every morning you rise early, you're sending a message to yourself. I am in charge. I control my time. I command my future. And he who masters himself becomes unstoppable. Success does not begin at your desk. It begins before the world even opens its eyes. The early morning is sacred, untouched by noise, free from obligation, unpolluted by distraction. It is in these hours that the builders build, the thinkers think, and the leaders lead. Productivity is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most, and doing it while your energy is high, your mind is clear, and your soul is focused. You don't stumble into productivity, you design it, and the blueprint is laid at dawn. Think of Leonardo da Vinci, who filled his journals with ideas before others even stirred. Or Isaac Newton, who discovered the laws of motion, not in a crowd, but in solitude. Their genius was not found in chaos, it was nourished in silence. When you rise early, you are not just gaining time, you are multiplying power. You set the tone. You dictate the pace. And you build momentum while the world is still asleep. Create before the world interrupts. Lead before the world pulls. Resilience is not something you find, it's something you forge. And every morning, when your bed feels warm and your goals feel distant, you face a quiet but defining test. Will you rise or will you retreat? Those early hours are more than a routine. They are a proving ground, a place where strength is built not through comfort, but through resistance. Each time you rise when you don't feel like it, you're training your mind to do what's right, not what's easy. Booker T. Washington walked miles before dawn to attend school. Abigail Adams led through war and hardship, grounded by her early morning discipline. They didn't wait for strength, they built it. And so can you. You see, the moment you choose growth over ease, you win your first battle of the day. And that victory fuels every battle that follows. The resilient don't wait for life to get easier. They get stronger, one sunrise at a time, one decision at a time, one early morning at a time. The way you begin your morning is the way you begin your mindset. And mindset, my friend, is the soil from which your entire life grows. You cannot plant seeds of negativity and expect a harvest of joy. Every sunrise is a sacred invitation to begin again, not just with your body, but with your spirit. In the stillness of early morning, before the demands of the world shout your name, you have a choice. You can fill your mind with gratitude or with grievance. You can focus on possibility or on problems. Florence Nightingale faced suffering every day, yet she began her mornings in quiet reflection and purpose. That's not coincidence. That's power. When you speak words of encouragement to yourself, when you breathe deeply, when you reflect with clarity and hope, you're not indulging. You're preparing to face life with strength and grace. Start your day with light, and you carry that light through everything and everyone you touch. Before the world demands your attention, give that attention to yourself. The early morning is not just a time to rise, it's a time to elevate. To expand your mind, sharpen your thinking, and stretch the boundaries of what you believe is possible. You see, continuous learning is not a luxury for the elite. It is the foundation of all achievement. And there is no better hour to train your intellect than when the world is quiet and your mind is clear. In these golden hours, your mind is most alive, most absorbent, most ready. Galileo rose with the sun, not to check his inbox, but to question the universe. Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz wrote and studied before her world stirred, not because she had time, but because she made it. Every morning you spend reading, journaling, or reflecting is a brick in the structure of your greatness. One idea, one insight, one breakthrough can change your life. Feed your mind early, and you'll never run on empty. Confidence is not lightning. It doesn't strike out of nowhere. It is a fire carefully built, steadily fed, and fiercely protected. And the first spark is struck in the morning when you choose to rise before the world, again and again. Every early morning is a promise kept to yourself, a private victory, a silent message to your subconscious. I can count on me, not once, daily. You see, most people wait to feel confident before they act. But the truth is, confidence grows because you act, especially when it's hard. Michael Faraday rose each day to experiment in silence. Fanny Mendelssohn practiced her music before the world woke, not for applause, but to honor her calling. They didn't wait for belief. They built it. And so can you. Each time you rise early, each time you show up for your growth, you transform your identity. You stop being someone who hopes and become someone who executes. Confidence is earned in the dark and revealed in the light. Life doesn't follow your plans. It twists, it bends, it surprises, and those who rise to meet it, truly rise, are not the ones who resist change, but those who adapt to it. The early morning is your rehearsal for life's unpredictability. It is a moment untouched by the chaos to come, where you can adjust your mindset, shift your strategy, and prepare your response before the world demands it. This is not weakness. This is intelligent strength. Think of Mansa Musa navigating unfamiliar kingdoms and unknown terrain, or Clara Barton bringing calm to disaster zones through early morning discipline and emotional clarity. They met uncertainty with readiness, and that readiness began in stillness. Each morning you rise early, you practice flexibility. You learn to pivot without panic. You learn to remain firm in purpose, even when the path changes. The bamboo bends in the storm, but never breaks. So too does the adaptable mind, rooted, steady, unstoppable. The world celebrates flashes of brilliance, but it is built by the hands of the consistent, not by those who act once in a while, but by those who show up every single day. And the most powerful place to build that consistency is in the morning. Greatness isn't born in grand moments. It's carved, line by line, brick by brick, in the silence before the noise. Immanuel Kant followed the same daily rhythm. Louisa May Alcott rose early to write through illness and hardship. Their legacies were not accidents. They were the result of daily devotion. When you rise early, you move before resistance has a chance to speak. You act before hesitation can take root. You don't need to do everything today, but you must do something. The morning is your sacred contract with yourself. This is when I move forward. And over time, Those quiet acts of effort become something loud, something lasting. One morning at a time, one step at a time, one life transformed.